In this lesson, we're going to solve absolute value equations and read into absolute value inequalities in the next lesson or two. Okay. Remember, the absolute value of a number is the distance between the number and 0. And distance is never negative. It's never negative. It could be 0, it could be one on top of the other, but they're never negative. So when you solve an absolute value equation, one that has an absolute value in it, you got to realize that this number could have been the value or it could have been the opposite. So x could be 5 or it could have been negative 5 because the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So that's going to be the key to solving these, is realizing those absolute values could be positive or negative. Those numbers that you take absolute value of, could be positive or negative. Coupled to practice, here the absolute value is 8, the distance is 8, but that number could have been 8 or negative 8. Now this one is a trick question. Distance is never negative. So in this one, there is no solution, no answer, because the absolute value of anything is going to be 0 or more. It cannot equal a negative. Okay, most of them are not going to be as simple as those examples were. Most of the time, you're going to have an expression in your absolute value. And to do this, you're going to write two different equations. Either that stuff in the absolute value was positive or it was negative. And then all you have to do is solve both of those equations. This is an or. I missed the negative. Sorry about that. So here you would add 5 to both sides and divide by 2. Okay, here when you add 5, you get negative 6. Divide by 2 is negative 3. Notice it isn't 8 to negative 8 because the stuff in your absolute value, your expression, was equal to negative 11 or positive 11. It's not that x equals 11 or negative 11. So please realize most of the time those two numbers are not the same. Okay, on this one, we'd set 3x plus 4 equal to 10. And the other option is that stuff, 3x plus 4, was negative 10. And simply solve both those easy equations. Subtract 4, we get 6. Divide by 3, we get 2. Here, when we subtract 4, we get negative 14. When we divide by the 3, we get an improper fraction. So there are the two options. Again, notice they are not 2 and negative 2. But we split them up and get two problems out of one. Okay, if there's stuff with your absolute value, you've got to isolate your absolute value before you split it into two problems. So in this case, we would add 5 to both sides and probably divide by the 3. The absolute value is 5. Then we would split it into the 3x plus 1 equals 5, or 3x plus 1 equals negative 5. So when we subtract 1, we'll get 4. Here we get 4/3. And on this one, when we subtract 1, we get negative 6. And when we divide, we get x equals negative 2. Okay? But the key on this type of problem is to isolate the absolute value first. You get absolute value of something equals a number. Also note, if this number had been a negative, then there would be no solution. Okay. Here's another one. When I add 5 to both sides, we get 9. Divide by the 3. And now I would split it into the 2x minus 7 equals 3, or the 2x minus 7 equals negative 3. And solve each one. All of you are very good at solving equations. I'm not going to bore you with that. Okay. This one is maybe a little unusual in that we got a positive for both of those, but that's okay, because the -7 is subtracting a pretty significant number. Okay? I'd have a note to myself, don't skip this example. Let me show you why. We got 1/2 absolute value of stuff. When I move that 6, I get -3. And if I multiply by the 2, I get -6. Well, again, this is one of those where your absolute value equals a negative number. So there's no solution to that. The absolute value will never be negative. Okay. Got to talk a little bit about absolute deviation. It's something that you'll use in real life, but it won't be called absolute deviation. But it's the same idea. Okay, the absolute deviation of a number from a given value, so a number x from a given value, is the absolute value of the difference. So here we've got x minus given value in the absolute value symbols, and that gives you your absolute deviation. Okay, now I got this ropes example because my brothers and nephew do a lot of roping, and so does my middle son. Okay, so when they talk about the ropes manufactured or sold as 3/8 inch diameter, and the absolute deviation may be 1/32 of an inch. So then when they are doing this, the given value is 3/8. That's what it's supposed to be. But the deviation can be 1/32. So what we don't know is the actual sizes of the ropes. So when we do this problem, just like the other absolute value problems, we are going to split that. X minus 3/8 equals 1/32, or x minus 3/8 equals -1/32. Okay, now you know I'm a fractions person, so I'm going to make this 3/8 into 12/32. So when I add 12/32 to both sides, that rope could be as big as 13/32, and on the same on this side, it could be as small as 11/32. Okay, so those are the biggest and the smallest your rope could be. So it could be as big as 13/32, as small as 11/32 inch. Okay. A lot of times we throw absolute value deviation problems into word problems. They might be talking about the circumference of a volleyball, or the Tom Brady problem with the pressure of footballs. Okay, so the absolute deviation of x from 7.6 is 1.3. So again, it's the same type of thing, but realize this is the unknown. This is the given value that we want it to be. That's our target value. And this is how much you can be off. So the x minus 7.6 equals 1.3, or x minus 7.6 equals -1.3. And in both cases, when you add 7.6, add 7.6, that would be 6.3. Then we will get the biggest the x can be and the smallest that x can be. These actually work best as absolute or inequalities, because then you could say the what is allowed is between them. So, all right. Rewatch what you need to watch, and good luck.